Good evening, Bahrain. I'm Bernadette from Gulf Brands International, and you're watching Wine Online Wednesday. This is episode 3, and it's all about Chardonnay. So Chardonnay is a bit of a Marmite grape. You either love it or hate it. You might not even be aware of what you're loving or hating, but I'm going to show you that tonight. It's the most widely planted grape in the world. It originally started in Burgundy, and it's considered the true home of Chardonnay. From there, it's been planted all over the world, and where it's especially famous now is in California, where it is the most widely planted grape in California. So, what do we know about Chardonnay? It's a greenish grape, and it's actually quite neutral. How the flavours develop and how you experience different Chardonnays is down to the terroir, the climate, and the skills of the winemaker and the different techniques that he uses. So we've got 3 tonight. If you've got a moment, I'd like you to pour your glass of Hidden Crush straight away, because that just needs a little bit of time to open up. So Hidden Crush will be the 3rd wine tonight, so please pour it quickly, just put it to the side. So we're going to start with Chablis. Louis Michel Chablis. On the label, you'll just see the word Chablis. You won't see Chardonnay anywhere. That's because this wine is named after the region. Chablis is the northernmost part of the Burgundy region in France, but it's quite far north. It's actually closer to the Champagne area than to any of the other areas within Burgundy, running south, Côte de Beaune, Mâconnais, Côte de Nuits, and everywhere. So it's got more relatives in north, up in Champagne, and actually some champagnes are made from Chardonnay. But I think we'll do Champagne in another session. So, Chablis area is a one wine area. Only white, there's no such thing as red Chablis, and only from the Chardonnay grape. So it's pure Chardonnay. The Louis Michel winery is very historical, like many of the houses in the Chablis area. It was founded in 1750, and it's now got its 6th generation of winemakers, which is a pretty impressive feat. They have significant holdings in all the best areas in Chablis, and we're going to have a very nice vintage 2017 tonight. So let's see how it is. So if you have a little look, very clean, it glints, a little hint of green, a little hint of yellow, very clear edges. Let's go on the nose. Some citrus fruits, but as if they've just been cut from the tree. They're barely ripe, they're almost underripe, you could say. Maybe a little hint of white flowers, a little evocative note there. And a hint of green. Again, it's part of the freshness and the zest of this wine. Let's have a taste. Oh, fruits are coming through. Fresh melon that's just beginning to ripen up a bit. Passion fruit, a little bit of tropical fruit, but not overripe. Hard white peaches that haven't gone soft yet. And there's also this little green flavour, a little leanness. The clean taste that you get is called the minerality of the wine, and this is due to the soil from where the Chablis, in the Chablis area. There's a lot of limestone, and it's called Kimmeridgian soil. There's very good drainage, and that helps give the characteristic to this wine. This wine has been vinified purely in stainless steel vats, no oaking whatsoever, so all you get is fresh, clean wine. Lots of fruit there. Okay, we're going to move on to our middle wine, and from France we're going to go from a cool climate, we're going to go to Chile. We're going to go to the Pacific coast, about 60 kilometers from Santiago, heading east, and we come to Vina Chocalan. This is a family winery, now in its 2nd generation. The founder of the winery, Guillermo Toro, was working in the glass business, but he always had a passion for wine. And in 1996, the passion came through and he founded the winery. You'll find when you look at the Vina Chocalan wines and labels and everything, that glass inspires them. They've got beautiful coloured glints on their labels, all coming from his history in working with glass. The vineyard itself, as I said, about 60 kilometres from Santiago and about 35 kilometres from the coast. So we're heading for a temperate Mediterranean climate. However, the vineyard itself is very close to the Maipo River, because this is in the Maipo Valley. And this tempers the climate. So you have hot days and then cool evenings. This means that the fruit matures slowly. So let's see, and again, this is 100% Chardonnay. Let's see the difference now, this taste. Oh, the nose, yes. There's more tropical fruit coming out here. And there's some flowers. Not jasmine, more like white flowers, just freshly cut white flowers. And let's go into the taste. Tropical fruit. Tropical fruit is coming out now. There's pineapple, which is freshly cut. Again, it hasn't gone soft, it hasn't gone squishy, it's still freshly cut. There's hints of vanilla. Where did this vanilla come from? Right, when this wine is vinified, the grapes are picked, they start the fermentation process, and 80% of the wine continues in the stainless steel. So again, it just hibernates for a few months. Nothing is done to it, and the fruit is just left to develop in the wine. The rest of the wine, 20% or so, is fermented in wood. It takes a couple of months, and there's a process that applies called bâtonnage, which means that the wine is very rigorously stirred so that it's moving around the inside of the wooden barrel, and it takes the effect of the wood. And this is why you're getting a little hint of vanilla notes. Then it continues for a couple of months to mature as well. And then the whole lot is blended together to give this lovely seductive fruit, I think I would call it. It's tropical fruit, but not zingy, it's very smooth. There's a touch of elegance in here. Okay, now we're going to move on to California. And we're moving to Hidden Crush. Hidden Crush Winery is on the central coast. The climate, the sunshine state with sunshine days. But the cool winds coming in from the coast can temper the climate there as well. So this is a big wine, you're going to feel it. So it just needs to really open up a bit. You'll probably find if you're drinking this now and you've just opened and poured it, you'll get some taste sensations, then go back to it after about 15 minutes and you'll find it really will have opened up. So if you look at the colour of this, oh, now we're talking deep golden, hint of honey colours. It's really developed. Also, this is vintage 2014, so we've got some aging going on here. So you can see how the edges of the colour develop. On the nose, ripe tropical fruits. The peaches have been squished here. They've softened and they're really ripe. More flowers, and there's a very, very faint little green note, a little grassy green note, or more like celery leaves. Not unpleasant. It just kind of breaks the full-on nose. Let's see how it tastes. You get a different sensation. It fills your mouth. It's round. It's got these lovely, luscious fruits, but they've been mellowed out with hints of vanilla, creaminess and a toastiness. Now that comes from the vinification. In this wine, 100% Chardonnay, It's taken from 4 specific parcels of the Chardonnay vineyards around the Hidden Crush winery. They're selected, they're brought in. One of them undergoes a special fermentation called malolactic fermentation, and this brings out this creaminess. They're all aged in oak, and at the end of their fermentation, then they're blended together. So the proportion of grapes from each vineyard will change in each vintage so that they hit the perfect blend. The Hidden Crush, the name of the winery, comes from, for winemakers, a good winemaker always has his hidden crush. It's his own little batch that he thinks is far superior to the rest of the blend. So it's a bit of an in-joke in winemakers, and Hidden Crush really specialise in this, that they're able to take grapes and manipulate them to reach this beautiful blend. Yeah, got it. When you have a sip and experience it, think about the finish. How long does the flavour last on your palate? You can still taste it, and it goes on and on. This is a sunset wine. This is for sipping and savouring. You don't want to rush this. You let it linger, I think, is the best way to describe this wine. So, what kind of food are we going to match with these? Well, the Chablis. This is calling out for seafood, shellfish, shellfish platter, French style, au nature, or very, very lightly cooked, or maybe even oysters. This particular vintage, 2017, got 90 points from Robert Parker, and in his review of the wine, he actually caught a sense of oyster shells, you know, this kind of stony flavour coming through. Some people call it, it's like wet stones after the rain, but he called it oyster shells, which might be something to do with in the limestone rocks of the Chablis area, they find an awful lot of oyster fossils. Here, very lightly balanced. We could have some lovely chicken dishes. We could have some grilled meat, lightly barbecued. And it's a fresh Chardonnay with just a hint of oak, so it's also good for sipping and enjoying. Here, food, we can have meat, but we can have something like a ribeye, a marbled meat, not a fillet steak. You need some fat to come through to cope with this big, opulent wine. It can also be good for a fettuccine alfredo, for a carbonara pasta, something with lots of fat in it. Aged cheese like Gruyere would go quite well with this. I think this is elegance, and a good way to remember it. What's the kind of biscuit you would have? Go for a standard water biscuit. Hardly any flavour to distract, and this is refined, elegant. You'd like to sip it and enjoy it. Going here, this reminds me of a milk biscuit. Middle of the road, a hint of vanilla, but it's very enjoyable. And for this one, shortbread. Lots of luscious butter, sugar. That's all you need to have with this wine. So, that's all about Chardonnay. You're watching Wine Online Wednesday. I'm Bernadette from Gulf Brands International. So, choose your Chardonnay.